Welcome everyone. This is my first post here on YouTube. Some of you know me from my Instagram channel. I track my journey from being a former pro swimmer to become an Ironman, to actually race an Ironman race, and maybe beyond that. So my goal is to qualify to Ironman Hawaii as an amateur. I do believe that without having an ambitious goal in your life, you will not reach anything. About 3 years ago, a friend of mine asked me if I could help him with his bucket list goal to compete in an Ironman himself. He called me up and said, "Listen, Marcus, I have this idea in my head. I do want to compete in an Ironman, just to finish it, and I need some help from you. You used to be a former pro swimmer, and you used to coach other people in swimming, and can you help me with it?" And I was all super excited actually, because I like to help. Especially my friends. And so I said to him yes, and yeah, we started talking more about it and what he needs to do and what he needs to change going forward. At some point I said, "Listen, why don't we do it together? Why don't we compete in an Ironman together?" And so this idea started. And once I got back to the pool, because I wasn't really that fit at that time, to start this journey I need to lose weight, and the only way I know how to become fit was in the pool. So I said to him, "Listen, do your running and do your cycling on your own, and every now and then we go swimming together, so I will show you some things. And in the meantime, I will get fit and I will get back to where I want to be able to training, cycling and running." I said that was about 3 years ago. The more I got back into swimming, the more I lost weight, the fitter I got. I realized for myself, hold on a second, I don't just want to compete in an Ironman. I do want to actually finish this race, and I do want to be one of the better ones. I needed to get a plan. I needed to get a plan for swimming. I needed to get a plan for cycling. I needed to get a plan for running. What was also an important thing for me was I needed to upgrade my gear, mainly in cycling and in running. Which shoes do I choose, or what kind of a bike I have. I mean, up to that point, I had a bike which was an aluminium bike, one of these old ones, very heavy, and it was a bike I once bought because I thought I needed one. It was not an expensive one; it was a rather cheap one in the end. And running, I mean. If you ask a swimmer, "Do you like running?" he will always tell you, "It's kind of boring," or "I really don't like it." So most of the swimmers will tell you that. I set the plan. I said, "Look, the first year I need to just get fit. I need to lose weight. I need to be in a good shape in swimming before I can start properly with cycling and running." And that was the first year, and that was actually good because I felt great. Up to that point, I had created the spirit again. I had a goal in front of me. I want to go to Kona. It seemed to be very far away from me, but it was my goal, so I wanted to do everything to be there. But as I said, I needed to first get swimming in order, and so I dedicated the first year really only for that. By the end of the year, I was training again 6 times a week. And per session I did between 4 and 5Ks, and I had some pretty good times. I mean, I was never back at the level as I used to be as a pro swimmer, but I was back at a very decent level. The second year started, and then I started cycling. So at the time still with my old aluminium bike, but I did it. I had a turbo trainer because it was still winter. It was in January, and I started running as well. And over time, I could obviously increase the volume, not only the cycling volume, also the volume on the running. So I was already doing my 3-4 swimming sessions, my 2 cycling sessions, my 2 running sessions, I got together with an old friend of mine. He's now a super pro. He said to me, listen, come by, I need to show you some things. And then we met up and he said, look, here is my one of my spare bikes, and let's go for a ride. I looked at the bike. It was this super light carbon fiber bike, and with electrical gear shifts. And I was like, hold on a second, that's a whole new level. And then he said, oh, you know what, just use it and cycle with me. You will be amazed how amazing this is, and let's go for a ride. And then we went for about a 2-hour ride. I enjoyed it. I mean, this bike was beyond everything I knew up to that point. I mean, it was super fast, it was super light, easy to handle, and it was a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun. And while we were cycling, we always chatted a bit about it. And then he said at some point, you need to get one of these bikes if you wanna. I mean, Kona is a different level, and for that you need a lot of training. You know what I do, and you need to put some time in it. But to actually finish an Ironman, or at least race in it, you need something like this. I was so lucky that he helped me with his sponsor to get me a really, really cool bike. I mean, it had everything, and they fitted it to me, they fitted it to my body, and so I think I was one step closer to be better in cycling, and that was amazing. So cycling was ready, and in April I got my new bike. That was a game changer, especially in cycling for me. I called up another friend. He used to play football, and then he started to do CrossFit, and he was very successful doing CrossFit. So I reached out to him and asked him, listen, could you help me with my journey? I want to become an Ironman, and I want to qualify for Kona. And I mean, you know how to run. I mean, you did it as a football player, certainly. You studied it. You studied sport science, and could you help me with my endeavor? And then he said, hey Marcus, I'm all game. I want to help you. I mean, let's put together a plan. Also, I was all set with training, with my mind, with everything. And I think that was actually the moment when it really, really, really started for me. Beside that, I always kept Instagram, for example, as a daily log, where I recorded what I did or some thoughts I had in there, and where I tracked it. And I'm no influencer. I'm nothing like that. I just posted it every day, and people who wanted to follow me, or people who want to follow me, they follow me, and people who don't, they don't. And apparently some people, like for me it's a lot of people actually like what I do. Well, I guess it's also I do a lot of videos where I show myself swimming, where I show myself cycling or running, and people like that. I mean, it also it became a bit of a hobby for me to do that. For me, mainly it's still my daily log, where I post what I do, like what I do every day. I got also a lot of questions about swimming specifically, mainly swimming, because obviously when you look at my videos, then you see, oh yeah, oh, this guy can swim, or he once did it and is still good at it, or maybe like he knows swimming. And every now and then I get questions about like technical questions, or what goggles I have, what I do in a training, like what kind of sets do I plan, and so at some point I realized maybe I need to also talk about it. Maybe Instagram is not enough. Instagram for me as a daily log is good enough. But maybe some people wanna know more about certain topics which I touch in my journey, or with my comments, or with my videos. So certain things they see and they want to know more about it. And yeah, and so I thought I create my new YouTube channel. My YouTube channel should be a bit something about my journey to become an Ironman. It should also be an add-on to my my daily log. Maybe it's a weekly log on YouTube. But I also want to inspire people. One thing I'm not a pro as such. I mean, I try to train as professional as I can next to my everyday job, but I'm not a pro like Daniela Rief or Jan van Berkel or Jan Frodeno or yeah, all these guys. I'm no pro like this. I'm an everyday man who set himself a goal for this specific journey and wants to achieve it and tries to do his best to go there. And I also want to be able to give advice in it, or maybe someone can pick up what I say here and use it for their journey or for their endeavor. I mean, it doesn't need to be Ironman. It doesn't need to be triathlon. It can also be just swimming or just running or just cycling. But at least you can take something out of it, and this is important for me. And that's some sort of the thing I want to create here. Coming back to my journey, I mean, I'm now 2.5, 3 years into my journey. I practice every day. At least twice a day. I am not back at swimming where I used to be when I was a pro, but I'm, let's say, 70%, 75% back where I used to be. And cycling, I think I brought my level to a certain up to a certain point where I can say I'm on a good track. Then running, funny enough, it took me the longest to get into it, but also it took me the longest to see a certain step forward. And just recently, maybe a month ago, it started to become really interesting. So I'm not there yet. I mean, obviously I wanted to do my first Ironman in July in Klagenfurt. Through Corona, that wasn't possible, so I had to postpone it to next year. So July next year will be my first Ironman. So it gave me another year to practice, and I must say, in hindsight, I most probably, to be honest, I would have finished that for sure, but I wouldn't have been able to qualify like I want to, especially because running wasn't there at that point in time. And yeah, now, as I said, about a month ago, I made the huge step forward where I think I'm actually now on track to make it. Will I make it? That is out of the question. So anyone who will tell me or will challenge me, oh, you might not make it or you don't make it, I don't care. It is my journey, and it's my goal, it's my ambition, and I think I have a good chance in making it, given my times in swimming, cycling and running. But it all comes down to the one point in time where you get your moment. I will only know when I actually will do it. One thing is been for sure. When I stopped swimming, I lost something. Through this journey, it gave it back to me. This ambition, this drive. And interesting enough, this drive also helps me in my everyday life, in my job, in things outside of the sport. And this is priceless, and I do not want to lose that ever again. I think for the first time that's enough talking. I hope you like it and you will follow me, follow my journey going forward.